Previously on They See Me Rollin'.
Attacking any part of me is an insult to bastards.
And the sanitation worker knocks down Jack.
I take Ramona's hand and start walking toward the door.
Are you going to ask the inmates to join you?
Come on, guys. Prisoners, come on. It'll be fun.
You see 3 kids playing on Scoot Buddies.
Push one of the kids off, and I take the Scoot Buddy. I use minor illusion to create the illusion of a flame. It's mostly for Coen's benefit.
I can't pay you enough for what you did.
You can try.
You rescued my sister. All of you need to get out of town, and you won't be safe here anymore. You're free from any obligation.
If we keep going, something's gonna happen to you. And
What, to me? Yeah, whatever. Let's go on the boat trip.
I begin to sing to him.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's a very full house. It's a very full house. And I'm glad I'm in it with you.
We're traveling, or you're traveling. You're traveling inside of a carriage. And your carriage driver, you see, is a drow. And he turns to you and says, "Well, hello. My name is Stephen. It's a pleasure."
Hello.
Hey, Stephen.
Hi, Stevie.
Hi. I'll be
Night.
I'll be getting you to the docks, and there you'll be riding our fancy lad Wave-O-Rama.
That's great.
Yeah, it's a great
That
show.
sounds like something I'd like.
The children love it.
I love feeling like such a fancy lad.
The fancy lad is possibly the nicest of all of Waterdeep's daycares.
Yep, that's what I do, I guess. This is an awkward conversation, I say under my breath.
Coen agrees.
He seems like a nice guy, but he's just kind of, he's not picking up on social cues.
If you'd like, there's a bottle of water there for all or each of you, depending if you want some water.
I have some water.
Sure.
All right.
Coen has a bit of a sore throat since all the excitement, so he has some water.
Oh, that's definitely the best thing for a sore throat. So you travel.
Thanks.
You then travel the rest of the way in silence with poor Stephen, who's only trying to be friendly, but he's always been kind of an awkward person.
Stephen, is that Stephen with a PH or Stephen with a V?
It's Stephen with a V.
Okay, good. Good.
That's how you know when a drow
That's
is
cool.
from the Underdeep, or the under something.
It's the Underdark.
That's how you know when a drow is from the Underdark. Is when they spell Steve with a V.
The underpants.
Mm-hmm. The other drow cultures, they spell Stephen with a PH. It's really fascinating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really some interesting cultural history.
I feel like I'm in this world, Stan. You know.
Some goblins, they don't know how to write, and some goblins pretend they know how to write, but really they can't. And
What
some
type are you?
So what you're saying is that no goblin actually knows how to write.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that it would be easy to think that.
Stephen doesn't know how to respond to that. So,
This is
Jelly doesn't
delightful
either.
water. This is delightful water. Where did it come from, Stephen?
that's the water I bought from the grocery store. It's unfortunately I don't make a whole lot of
compliments to the
money as a
chef.
carriage driver, so it's the generic brand. It's not the fancy
I
mineral
throw it
water.
out the window.
Where I'm from, we would just drink the water that seeps in through the roof. We lived under a swamp.
You lived under a swamp.
You lived under a cave
Yeah,
in a
in a-
cave under a swamp?
In a dungeon.
Oh, you lived in a dungeon under a swamp.
I'm not sure how they built it without flooding the whole thing.
Must
'Cause
have been
it's-
pretty dank.
It's far beneath the water table. It was very dank.
Very
You have, so you-
sulfury.
You basically lived in like the Legion of Evil's swamp headquarters in that giant like skull head.
I don't know what you're talking about. Is this another goblins are evil thing?
No, not at all. Look, listen, Skumk. If anyone understands the prejudice against non-human races, it's me, a tiefling. All right.
Okay, Lo, so it looks like we're here.
Skunk
Oh.
just shakes his head.
That seemed to fly by. Thanks for the conversation.
Oh, it was absolutely...
Do we tip our Uber driver? How's this work?
Oh, no need to tip. It's built into the service. We've already been paid by Smith. He's a good man, and we're all set. Thank you very much.
Is this like a fancy Uber carriage, or are there like candies and stuff everywhere?
No, just the water.
I take as much water as I can.
Feel free. They're pretty inexpensive.
Back where I come from, water is it's kind of hard to come by. So
Yeah. Oh, you may be needing it on your trip. There's a lot of salt water out in the ocean. A lot of it.
really, I had no idea.
Well, anyway, it's been my great pleasure, and I hope you have a safe trip.
Bye.
Goodbye, Steven.
Bye,
I'm sure
Steven.
we'll remember you in a few episodes.
He reaches out
He
for a
was
hug
so nice.
from anyone.
I do not hug him.
I just kind of
Completely leave him hanging.
I start to put my arms out, but then I quickly put them back down and just walk away.
He awkwardly sits
seems
back.
nice.
Coen
And,
does that thing where somebody tries to hug you, but you turn it into a handshake. It looks so awkward.
he just smiles and then sits back, and he takes his carriage away and rides off. And you are now at the dock, and you see behind you, or now in front of you, since you turn around, you see a very not a very large ship, but it's a large sailing vessel. It has
How many masts?
It has all three. It has a foremast, a mainmast, and a mizzenmast.
Wow.
And
Sounds sexy.
Lot of
you
masts.
just at the there's a not a gate but like a sign over the dock leading up to it that says the Fancy Lad Wavorama. And at the top of the sign, you see carved into the wood a caricature of a fancy lad. It's a boy wearing a hat with a feather sticking out of it, and he's smiling and he's wearing diapers.
I'm kind of
That is-
imagining
Oh,
this ship
that is-
as an actual bouncy castle rather than a ship.
That is one fancy lad.
So is there a gangplank? Can we walk up the gangplank?
There is once
Yes.
you
Is there a gangplank that we can walk up?
Is there a poop deck?
there is a poop deck indeed, but you'll have to go up the gangplank to get to the ship to reach the poop deck.
Let's walk up this gangplank.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys walk up the gangplank. As you
Where I'm from, we're always walking across dangerous pieces of wood. It's like one of the only things we do for fun.
So you have climbed up the gangplank, and at the top you are greeted by
Coen, Cohen's actually a bit afraid of water, so he's kind of shaking a little bit. I'm just letting you know.
Skumk has never been on a boat or probably seen a boat, at least one that's this large or has sails.
Mm-hmm.
So he's kind of playing it cool, like he knows what's going on, but he doesn't actually have any idea why we're going onto this big shaky house with sheets on the side.
I actually had to travel on a ship to get to Fandline Inn, and then later I worked on a different ship for a while as a deckhand.
Oh.
I've been to all kinds of ships on the water, right?
No, you idiot! It travels on sand.
Like along the beach?
Yes.
I don't know why that's faster.
You see.
The beach around here seems kind of rocky.
You see, they take out these long oars and then they just kind of paddle along the sand.
It seems like this would be super bumpy if we did this.
It's it's got like suspension shock absorbers and stuff like that, so it's more comfortable than you'd think.
Ramona runs past you and yells out, "Whitney!"
Hey, Ramona's been here all this time.
Yeah, Ramona, who'd been otherwise quiet, runs past you guys, and she runs to another little girl standing there waiting for you guys. And Whitney sees her and says, "Ramona!" And they give each other a big ol' hug, and they seem very excited to see each other, as if it had been a while.
Is that someone we know? I look up at my two party members.
No, I haven't seen her before.
Whitney, no, we've never seen. Smith talked about her in the last episode. He said that we were going to meet her.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
The one that has been called Whitney turns to you guys and say, "Hey, hello, welcome to the Fancy Lad Wavorama. We will be taking you up to the Sword Coast. Unfortunately, there's no rooms. However, we don't expect this to take particularly long, just a few hours. So please make yourself comfortable anywhere here on the deck. If you feel like it, go ahead and go inside the ship. Have a seat inside there. Whatever you prefer, it's up to you. I am the first mate. My name is Whitney, as you know, and Ramona and I have been friends for so long. She's so great. And you probably won't see him much, but the captain is Ron, and Ron is you'll see him around every so often.
Hello, Whitney. My name is Coen. I am a paladin of Bast. You must have heard of Bast. Bast loves revenge and vengeance. All things vengeance. Would you like to donate to my charity, the Bastardos? It's a vengeance charity. We don't help people, but we help them get vengeance. That's our theme. That's our what's the word? That's our saying.
Mission
That's
statement.
the thing we say.
Do you mean a slogan?
That's our slogan.
Or a mission statement.
Our mission statement, yes.
Our mission slogan.
We don't
Motto.
help people, we help them get vengeance.
Catchphrase.
She goes, "Well, sure.
Yep,
I
all
love
those
I love vengeance like a lot. And she
Really?
she tosses
My
you a
God,
silver.
I can talk about vengeance for hours. I like you.
She's like, "I have gotten so much vengeance. It's great. Big fan of Bast." And she says, "What the heck?" She tosses you another silver.
Oh, great. I put that into the charity money cat for Bast.
Is it a little cat-shaped piggy bank?
It's a little
It's one
cat-shaped
of
piggy
those-
bank that waves.
It's one of those little, the ones that wave.
It's a waving cat, yeah.
She says, "Well, I need to go head up to the poop deck, but feel free to look around. We'll be taking off very shortly." And
Is there a hammock?
no, there's no hammock, but there are these big comfy chairs kind of spread around.
Are there bean bags?
No, the bean bags are inside actually, and
I take a bean bag from the inside and I bring it outside.
No, no, as soon as it rains, it's gonna get all soggy.
Yeah,
Those things are like
Whitney
sponges.
gives you a look like, gosh, I really wish you wouldn't do that. That's really gonna that could get soggy and ruined out here.
All right, I take it back inside with a sad face on.
Do you stay inside with it, or do you come back out?
I come back out.
Okay.
Whitney.
I go below deck to see what it's like down there.
Whitney, is there a quiet small room that I can cry in somewhere?
Oh gosh. What's got you?
You mean the crying room?
Yeah. What's got you feeling sad?
I killed a man.
Oh yeah, I know that. My first time. Gosh, I remember. Yeah, there's you can use the captain's office. It's down near the galley. Just head down there, and you'll see it all the way in the back. And you can just you can sit there and have a good old cry.
Okay, thank you. You're a treasure. I go to the captain's office and lock myself in and just curl up in the fetal position.
And Skumk, you said you were going into the ship as well?
Yeah, just to see what it's like down there.
You head inside the ship and you see the first area. Actually, it kind of leads into an interior place underneath the quarterdeck, which is where Jelly went into to head to the captain's office. And you're inside you're inside the capstan, and there's like trampolines for the kids to jump on. You know, not big giant trampolines, but little trampolines. There's shapes and colors all over the walls. Little chalkboard as well. An easel
Is
for
it
them
like
to draw
well
on.
lit, or is it kind of dark and dank?
It's quite brightly lit. I mean, it's quite brightly lit. It's very nice. You could tell that this boat was made for children to ride on.
Wow, it's not what I hoped for, but whatever. I start jumping on a trampoline.
A sailor looks at you and says, "Well, that's it's unusual to see a goblin in here, but I guess you're right size for a child. What exactly would you be looking for?"
What do you mean looking for?
Well, you said this isn't quite what you're looking for, so what are you looking for?
Somewhere dank.
Oh gosh, then you definitely want to go into the ship's pumps. It's down there. It's down.
Well,
it's down near the cargo hold.
While this conversation is going on, I'm jumping on the trampoline in a very joyless and businesslike way.
But he does recommend that you go down to the ship's pumps if you want someplace nice and dank.
Sure, I'll go down there.
All right. You head down further into the ship, and you do find an area of the ship. This is definitely below water, and you can really tell. It is pretty damn dank in here. It's not leaking, but there's just like a lot of just kind of water and mildew and mold, all other molds.
This is cool.
All right. So
I like it here. I just lie down on the floor.
they pull up the anchor and they unfurl the sails, and the ship takes off heading north. It seems like Coen is the only one left on the deck. And Coen, you see just the beauty that is Waterdeep from afar. And Waterdeep Castle looks just absolutely fantastic. It's extremely large and white and tall, and it just reaches out into the heavens. And it's just hard to believe.
I snap a photo for my Insta.
And it's just really hard to believe that the people in there are looking to kill you. But they are. And you just you
People
drift
from
off.
beautiful places can kill you too.
Oh, absolutely. Like the entire continent of Australia.
Yeah, that's right. Not that it's that beautiful. It's more red and dusty, but sure.
Well, some of the areas with water are pretty.
Ha. You haven't been here. You don't know.
I've seen pictures of the beaches.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
at least
we
the one on
touch
Sydney.
them up to make it look like they're pretty, but really they're just really dangerous
Oh,
and ugly.
that's a shame.
What do? Okay, I'm in the captain's office. What does it look like in here?
There's a desk and a large wooden chair with leather covering it and giving it some padding. It's very nice looking. And breaking away from the motif of the rest of the boat, this is more adult. Everything in there is just nautical stuff, maps, compasses. The decoration is essentially all sea-themed. It's boats. There's a model of a boat on his desk as well as a ship and a bottle. It's very cliche.
This guy
Sounds like a nerd.
This guy finds an aesthetic and sticks to it.
Yeah, he does. Captain Ron is really into that.
No, we haven't met the captain yet.
No, not yet. So, like I said, the boat has taken off. Do you cry until you sleep, or do you eventually head out of the captain's office, Jelly?
After about 2 hours, I emerge from the from below deck.
Okay, and you head over to the main deck.
Yep. My eyes are my face is wet with dried tears, and my eyes are bloodshot.
Okay. What about you, Skumk? Do you eventually come back up to the deck, or you stay inside your dank area?
He fell asleep as soon as he hit the ground.
All right.
But now, I guess the same amount of time later, he wakes up.
Okay, so
and he gets up in a panic because the floor seems to be moving like a cave-in.
during these 2 hours, what have you been doing, Coen? That they've been
I've been hanging out on the deck, watching all the sailors do their sailory thing, and trying to stay away from the edges, the side of the boat where the water is. Just trying to stay as much in the middle as possible.
You're in full armor, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So falling off the boat
mean,
would be very bad for you.
Seriously, really bad. Especially since I can't swim.
Well, it doesn't matter if you could swim. You're in armor.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm basically walking around in a coffin right now.
Yeah, you're a giant
If I
anchor.
fall off the boat. Yeah.
So yeah.
Anyway, thanks for reminding me. It made me feel so much more comfortable.
As you guys gather back on the deck,
Skumk runs up from below deck, shouting about a cave-in. And the floor is moving. Maybe it's a purple worm or a bullet.
You hear
causing.
You hear a loud guffaw, like There's nothing to worry about, my boy. It's just the sea. You're not used to it. And approaching from the quarterdeck, walking down, is a large, gregarious, bearded man. He says, "Hi, I'm the captain, Ron."
Hi. Where
Hi,
did
Captain.
the land go?
Ha ha! The land. If you look over to the east, over there, he points over the starboard bow. Says, "If you look over there, you can almost make it out over the horizon."
Okay. Skunk clearly thinks that this person is crazy, and he's just humoring him.
He goes. He hands you a spyglass. It says, "Look through here. It might be better."
Well, all right. He looks through it.
And through it, you can definitely make out a beach and some trees in the distance.
Looks like land, all right. Thanks, buddy.
Ah! And he takes the spyglass from you and he says, "Are you enjoying your ride?"
Could you address all these questions to somebody else?
Well, I'm asking all of you.
Yeah, there's way more water than I'm comfortable with, but yes, the ride is very nice, Captain. I am Coen Greyfield, Paladin of Bast.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Always good to meet a paladin. And I'm sorry, your name, ma'am?
My name is Jelly Butter,
It's
and I killed a man.
First time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember that. It was a dark day indeed. Now I relish the chance.
Yeah. Jelly's kind of a wimp.
Jelly makes Jelly does not react at all. She just stares forward with a blank expression on her face.
I've never enjoyed murder that much. Like, all the other goblins would go out murdering, and I'd sort of stay at home looking for bugs and such.
Well, my boy, it's not about murdering. It's about battle. It's about glory and honor. Murder is atrocious. I would never murder another person. I would never go around there. But when we face up against pirates,
Cold blood, like a civilian sort of thing.
I'm not sure I understand the distinction you're drawing, but okay.
Well, when you kill a man who's trying to kill you, as opposed to killing a man or a woman, for that matter, let's not be sexist. When you're trying to kill someone who's not attempting to kill you, that's murder, and there's no honor in that.
Okay, thanks for the info.
It's my pleasure, my boy.
What about when you kill someone who's just doing their job?
Well, you mean like a soldier?
Guarding a prison, say.
Oh, well, was that person a threat?
Jelly's eyes get wide.
Yeah.
What if you kill somebody who stole all your snails that you've been cultivating?
Well, was that person a threat?
In the way that everybody's a threat.
You know what? I'm gonna go with it's okay.
Thanks. I mean, I'm not asking for your approval. You seem like kind of a weird guy. It's like, I don't mean that in a negative way. It's like keep water deep weird, man.
Yeah, I understand. The feeling is
like
absolutely mutual.
Thanks.
And
How long till we get where we're going?
Oh, it's not much longer. Just look north, and when you see the land protruding into a peninsula, into the ocean, that's where we're gonna be dropping you off. And he looks out, and you see his face contort into a look of consternation. And he says, "Oh, that's odd." And then he just kind of...
What does he see? I look in the same direction. What do we see?
What you see is an extremely large... Well, I guess it's just a lot of fog blowing over your way from the west. It's like a giant white cloud crawling on the ocean towards you.
So, Captain, is this normal?
Not on a day like today, no. And normally it doesn't blow in from the west.
I don't like this. Make it go away.
Well, and as the fog falls upon the boat, it suddenly starts really decreasing your visibility significantly. And it gets to the point where he just says, "All right, everyone, stay in one place. Furl up the sails." Or whatever the technical term is for that. We need to stop.
Do that boat stuff.
Yes, he starts shouting all kinds of technical boat orders to essentially stop the boat without anchoring it. So you find the boat is just kind of left drifting in the ocean, and the visibility gets so bad that you can't...
Are there some lamps we can light?
Well, here's the thing. You can't see each other at all. Like, if you were to hold your hand in front of your face, you wouldn't even see your hand. You can definitely not see the floor. It's as if you're in limbo.
Can I feel my way towards Jelly and Skumk and just kind of bundle, like sort of get close to them.
Let's see, how would you do that? Because that's going to be very difficult. I say that's...
Well, I knew where they were. Weren't we all standing close to each other?
All right.
Yeah,
let's assume that you were standing close to each other.
I just bump around in the dark.
No, I said, yeah, if you were standing pretty close to each other, that sounds reasonable. Let's go with that. Do you reach out for both of them?
I try to.
Yeah, you reach out.
And I say, "Skumk, Jelly, to me."
Hit me,
Yes.
remember?
Get close to me. I'm afraid.
I walk towards his voice.
Wi-
I say
My arms
Marco.
outstretched.
aside
Polo.
Marco. Marco.
Polo.
aside from your voices, you hear like a rattling breathing going on, coming from not any specific location. It almost seems to be coming from different locations all at once.
What does it sound like?
It's. I guess it would be like,
Can you do it? I'm pretty sure I've seen this in a movie before. It must be Darth Vader.
I hold my hand up in the air and shoot a firebolt in the air like a flare.
Uh-oh.
does that cost you a spell slot?
Nope, the firebolt is a cantrip.
All right. You fire it into the air, and as soon as it gets about I'd say a foot away from you, you can no longer see it.
All right.
I'm gonna use.
I'm gonna use my
Druid-
paladin thing.
I'm gonna use
Sorry.
Druidcraft to predict to see if this is natural weather.
Okay. You utilize your druidcraft. Do you have to roll on that, or that's just instant? It instantly works.
Just works.
Okay. Cool. You utilize your druidcraft, and you sense that this is most definitely not natural weather. There's you can sense even that there's something magical about it, and you also you sense an extreme coldness just going from the base of your neck all the way down your spine.
I use Divine Sense, which allows me to sense the location and type of any fiends, celestial, or undead within 60 feet.
You sense definitely a kind of demonic presence. And in fact, you look around and there seems to be, and they're essentially the only things you can see, and they're at random distances. Just these shapes that seem to just be moving throughout the clouds in some way, in some manner, but you can't really make out definition to the shapes. And you see these glowing yellow orbs that seem to be eyes. Sometimes not always associated with the shapes. Sometimes they are. And they seem to kind of blink in and out of existence. And they all feel like they're looking at you.
This is pretty
I would
spooky, huh?
I'd like to try something. I call out in Infernal. Who are you and what do you want?
And you get no response, but while it's still foggy, you can start seeing each other again. It is beginning to dissipate, and soon you can see the main mast, and then the floor, further down the floor, and then you can see the foremast, and behind you the mizzen mast, and the boat is taking shape. Otherwise, it looks like normal fog is blowing over you. You also see black, spindly legs start crawling up over the sides of the boat.
We did it.
You recognize these as giant spiders.
We got rid of the fog.
And Captain Ron turns to you and says, no! Where did these come from? And he says,
I don't know.
How do spiders get...
Is this a normal sea thing?
no, I've never
spiders get
seen
on
this.
the
You don't
ocean?
see spiders in the sea. This is madness. You three, could you please take those two up in the up at the bow? Whitney, Ramona,
Before we...
you head down into the ship. I'll go towards the stern with my men and take on the ones there.
Before we attack or anything, I cast Bless on all three of us.
Cool.
All right, and I need you
does
guys
that
to
do?
roll initiative.
So to cast Bless, I mutter, "Here, kitty, 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 give us some good luck, please, kitty." And that's how I cast Bless.
That is 14 for my initiative.
I got 10.
I got 9.
So it's going to be Spiders, Jelly, Skumk, and Coen. The two spiders run up to you. There's going to be one on the starboard side, one on the port side. We'll start with the starboard side first. He heads over to you, to Coen, and
Hi.
it can't speak. Unfortunately, it's a spider. It just goes.
Well, that's rude.
Yeah.
Hi.
It attempts to bite you with an 18.
That's a miss.
What?
That's a miss. My armor
Is it
class
really?
Yeah, 19. I have a shield, and I have defensive fighting style as well, which gives me +1. So my armor class is 19.
Awesome. Damn, dude. So it reaches out and you thrust your shield in its way, and it just scrapes a bit of your shield with its teeth. And the one coming from the port side heads over towards Skumk and critically misses.
Yay.
These spiders suck.
The spider bit himself.
It goes to Skumk, and Skumk does this like just awesome dodge.
That's what I'm known for.
Yeah. You do a little backflip, and it bites a little chunk out of its buddy's little carapace, and its buddy draws back a little and looks at it, already kind of humiliated from biting Coen's shield, and now just getting bitten by its friend, or whatever.
Poor guy.
Yeah,
He's
it's
such
rude.
a long-suffering spider.
All right, so next up is Jelly.
Jelly just kind of stands there for a second.
Okay, next up
quiet,
is
and then
Skumk.
fuck you. I'm trying to have a cinematic moment, all right? This is a cutscene, goddammit. All right. Camera slowly pans into Jelly. She looks up and says, I just wanted to have a nice, quiet boat ride with my friends, maybe do some more crying later, and then go to sleep.
All around
I didn't
you.
want to have to fight some fucking spiders.
All around you, you hear shouts of women and men doing battle with Spider. You hear, "Yarg! Take that, you nasty little piece of shit!"
And Jelly's eyes go dead, and she raises her hands, and a flaming orb appears in her hand, and she chucks it at the spiders and just screams, "Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you!"
Earning that explicit tag today.
All right, so which spider does she aim this flaming orb at?
Are the spiders kind of together now, since they bit each
Can
other?
it hit multiple targets?
Let's see. Nah, it's just gonna be one. So I'll take the one on the left.
Okay, so the one on the port side.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh,
And 20.
All right, that definitely hits.
17 damage.
Okay, your orb flies out towards that spider, and it's just like a little flaming ball, but it looks almost like a bowling ball where the fire is centered within it. And then it shatters as it hits the carapace of the spider, and the fire spreads on it like it was some kind of liquid that was within it. And it screams, and its legs are just everywhere. And you hear someone shout, "Ah, no! One of them's on fire!" And so they start yelling, "Get some water! Get some water!" They seem very concerned that the spider might set the ship on fire.
we're surrounded by water. I think we'll be good.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, you need to get the water there before it gets onto the deck. Next up is Skumk.
Skumk, this whole time, has been kind of psyching himself up to something, and suddenly he starts doing some weird motions and getting hairier, and extra legs sprout out from his body, and suddenly he's a giant spider.
Oh, yes.
I'm just imagining Skunk doing some weird Tai Chi while turning into a spider.
I can't help but wonder, does Skumk smells better as a spider?
You have to imagine so. Spiders don't smell like much. But then he runs forward and bites the nearest spider right in the face.
All right, so the nearest spider to you would be the one on the port side, the one that's on fire.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll bite the other one then. That's a 24. It's a pretty good attack. Not a crit, though.
No, that would definitely hit. So it rolled an 8 and failed the DC 11 Constitution saving throw.
4 damage.
4. So it takes
That's
a total
not
of
very
9 damage. All right. So you bite into the one that has already been bitten into, and you just kind of make the bite a little bit bigger, and it's oozing yellow and green goo out of it, and it's just like ah! And you get your poison inside of it too, and it doesn't like it, even though it's got its own poison and the same kind of poison. It doesn't like the poison being injected into it, so it was
delicious.
It's hurting. So next up is Coen.
Okay, so they've both been injured now, and
Yes, sir.
one of them is on fire. Is this right?
One of them is on fire.
I'm going to attack the one that's on fire. Yeah, I think I'll just do that first straight up. I'll just plain old attack it.
All right.
That's an 11.
All right. You swing out to strike it. However, it's freaking out so badly by being on fire that by chance it dodges you as you swing.
Okay. Now I'm going to use my bonus action to use my shield charge to try and knock it back and knock it off the edge of the ship. I can push it 5 feet, so I don't know if that's far enough to push it off the edge of the ship.
Oh, 5 feet won't be enough to knock it off the edge of the ship, but at least you can knock it.
Well,
Does
maybe-
it knock it on its back or just knock it back?
It can either push it away or knock it prone. If I knock it prone, will I be able to sort of make it roll over and duck and roll and knock the fire out?
I could have turned into a giant toad.
Yes, you could have. I'll just use it to bash the fire with my shield.
Okay, I like that.
All right. So.
All right, since you're using that to bash the fire, out with your shield, I'm going to go ahead and give you a point of inspiration. Okay. You can either use that as advantage now, or you can
I'll use that as
bank
advantage.
it
I'll
and
use
use it
that
later.
as advantage now. All right, here we go. Rolling.
Okay.
15.
You take your shield and you snuff out the fire that's on it, and it is freaking out a lot less, but you can see it's very deeply burned, and it's going to take a bit of time for it to recover properly.
We're gonna give it heaps of time, I'm sure. We can all be friends and have a cup of tea while it recovers.
So next up is the spiders. So the first one, the one that wasn't on fire, let's see, he strikes out at Spider Skumk. He hits Spider Skumk, so he bites you, does 9 damage, and I need you to roll a DC 11.
Oh. 10.
Oh no! So it totally gets you right back and does.
He beat me at my own game. That was his game.
You play a good spider game, boy.
I'm not actually gonna know which spider to hit now because I might hit Skumk instead.
Because we're wrestling
So
around.
it bites.
I think Skunk
it
has
bites.
some kind of distinctive feature that makes him always. You can always tell.
I
he's
think it's
Skunk.
green.
It-
No matter what animal,
Yeah,
no matter what animal
it's
you change
just
into, it's sort of mottled green.
Yeah, like Beast Boy.
And also
much
it
damage
has
did that
it has
overall?
those long goblin ears kind of
Yeah.
sticking up.
So it's just this green spider with long ears.
This
That
is
makes
horrible.
it even more horrifying somehow.
Terrified of Spider Skumk.
And so Spider Skunk takes 18 damage total. He gets bitten and the poison gets injected into his goo stream because I don't think they have an actual bloodstream.
Did he get bit on the butt?
Who knows?
No, he got bit near the face.
Ew.
The butt is
Yeah, that's
like
right.
90%
Most of
of
a
the
spider's
spider.
butt.
All right, the other
All them spiders got some junk in the trunk.
spider is actually is kind of freaking out still, so I'm going to give it disadvantage on attack, and it's going after Jelly.
Great.
Well,
Good thing it had disadvantage on the attack.
Whoa, Jesus.
Because that was a nat 20 right there. So it rolls 11. 11 is below your
Yeah.
AC, right?
It is. It misses.
just misses. It goes and reaches for Jelly, but Jelly deftly maneuvers out of the way. Highly into the moment and intense. Speaking of, it is Jelly's turn.
Was it the fire spider that tried to kill me?
Yeah.
I quickly dodge out of the way and then raise my hand and throw another chromatic orb at it.
Not
God.
a flaming one this time.
This one is made out of ice. 17. Fan-fucking-tastic. 10 damage.
You cast it, and again, like the other one, it's a bowling ball, but this one is a dark blue with somehow frozen water swirling within. And again, like the other, it shatters like a capsule on the body, and it encompasses the entire spider, and it becomes a giant ice spider, and then shatters to pieces in front of you.
Ew.
Woo! I just start walking over the ice shards in a circle, just really crushing them down with this dead-eyed blank look on my face. And then I'm kind of muttering to myself, unintelligibly.
I'll bite it in the butt.
Bite it in the taint.
All right, you
Bite it in the spider taint.
go ahead and roll for your butt bite.
To my knowledge, spiders do not have taints.
Their entire underside is their taint.
Yeah.
Spiders are basically just sentient taints.
Basically.
That's a definite hit.
Oh boy, I keep rolling good. That's another 24.
Let's see what damage your butt bite does. 8 damage.
8, and then he rolled a.
Yeah, I'm gonna get since he rolled a
Successful
natural 20.
thing.
I'm gonna say that he completely resists your poison,
Oh, okay.
and he's I don't want to say bleeding, but he's gooing profusely, and he's looking very unhappy, especially without being able to mourn. It's one of its many brothers or sisters or whatever it was that Jelly is now trotting over on the floor.
I relate to that. That's happened to me a lot.
Coen raises his sword into the sky and says, "In the name of Bast, I strike thee down, you hideous beast." And I hit.
Now you hit it with a 21. You hit it.
I'm going to call down the power of Bast and make that a divine smite.
That smite is so divine, darling.
Probably a bit unnecessary. I think it's going to die anyway, but I want to make it look cool when it dies.
Okay. Do you want me to describe it, or do you want to describe it?
No, you can describe it. I don't mind. I'm just
Okay.
trying to figure out how many. I just got to figure out how many.
I wonder if you had one in mind.
25
That's
damage.
true of a lot of things.
Fuck yeah.
You rolled 2 8s.
Just destroy this spider.
What spider?
You raise
There's no
your
spider.
sword to the sky, and as you shout in the name of Bast, what do you say? I destroy you?
I'm going. Yes, in the name of Bast, have vengeance on this horrible beast.
You can feel eyes upon you from the ship as you bring down your sword upon it, and you just
A giant paw reaches down from the
Yes.
sky and crushes it. It
And
bats it around.
you
That's
slice
exactly
at
what
it.
happened.
And as you slice at it, the slice comes down as though it were 3 claws from your sword and just shreds it into pieces. And it just also, with the force of it, flies backwards. All that's left is just shredded spider parts and goo.
And I shout, meow! and make my dogs bark.
You hear Captain Ron shout, "The day is won!" And everyone shouts out, "Huzzah! Huzzah!" And you see Whitney and Ramona come up from out inside the ship and said, "Oh, hell yeah, we kicked some spider ass."
Spiders don't have
Spider
asses.
ass.
I know that.
Spider
from
ass.
experience.
Everyone is just
Actually-
singing spider ass.
There's still one green spider standing on the deck. Is anybody freaked out by it?
No,
Well, the spider's talking in Skumk's voice, so...
So it's comforting.
Skump, are you going to be turning back into a goblin soon?
Yeah, I'll turn into a goblin. And actually, I'm going to turn into a giant frog and swallow this dead spider whole.
You know what? Just for doing that, I'm going to let you go ahead and recoup all HP for that.
Skumk doesn't say anything because he doesn't want to be rude, but he's kind of upset that the other spider's body is burned and frozen and not very appetizing.
As everyone walks up, you notice that Jelly is chewing on something that crunches and is very loud.
How's it taste, Jelly?
And you realize she's chewing on a piece of spider ice.
Yummy. Crispy burnt spider ice.
Have you invented a new dessert?
All right, that's disgusting. Okay, so at this point, the fog has passed over completely over to the shoreline.
That was pretty weird, huh?
The sails go back up. The ship continues moving north.
Does this happen all the time on boats?
He already mentioned that this is unusual.
He doesn't seem like he knows what he's talking about.
As the ship continues to sail further north, you see the fog eventually settle over the land, slowly moving further east until it's eventually completely out of sight. You can now see the Sword Mountains dead ahead, just reaching into the sky. You see exactly what Captain Ron had pointed out, a little peninsula sticking out. Whitney comes to you and says, well, guys, we can't get too much closer. It does get pretty shallow here. If you'll follow me, I've got a dinghy I'll row you onto the shore with.
Thanks, Whitney.
It's my pleasure. I live to serve.
You're a swell person.
So she guides you over to the starboard side, and she throws over a rope ladder, and she lowers down a little inflatable dinghy. She pulls this little cord, and it inflates and falls into the sea. She just slides down that little ladder, and fortunately the dinghy inflated right side up. Otherwise she would have had to kick it over. She grabs a little oar from the side of the boat and says, come on down, guys.
Now Coen is proper scared.
I hold Cone's hand.
And
I have a
Ramona
lot of
says,
sharp
it's all right,
objects on my
Coen. It's a
person."
very strong dinghy.
Yeah, but there's too much water.
I put my arm around him while holding his hand to say, I'm right. I'll be right here with you every step
Ramona
of the way.
snaps her fingers and goes, oh, gosh. She gently touches Cohen's elbow and casts levitate on him.
Oh, now I'm even more. No, this is fun. Whee!
Then she ties a rope around your waist, and you become a Coen balloon.
A Coen balloon.
Can I have a turn on the Coen balloon?
Sure.
I grab the Coen balloon and then I just jump off the side of the ship and slowly descend down to the boat. And as she lands, and
Wait. No.
whimsically
I
up
want
at
you
the-
to do an acrobatics check with this to see how it goes.
All right.
Oh,
16. All right.
16?
So you jump off the side of the ship with the Coen balloon, and you go ahead and describe it as you please.
Okay. I jump off the side of the boat and slowly descend down while holding onto the Coen balloon. And when I land, I just look up whimsically at Coen, and you get the feeling that Jelly is on the road to recovery. She's started to work her
and I
stuff
wave
out.
down at Jelly and give her a thumbs up.
And Ramona turns to Skumk and goes, after you.
Okay. Is there a gangplank out?
No, it's a rope ladder.
Oh, okay. I'll climb down that rope ladder.
All right, and Ramona climbs
No
right
frills.
down right after you, and Whitney begins rowing you guys with Coen comfortably in the air with
I'm
no
actually
fear of
swimming.
drowning.
I'm doing the breaststroke through the air as we go along.
I thought you didn't know how to swim.
Well, I suddenly
just
became
practicing?
now that I'm flying. Yeah, but I've became very confident with my swimming, but it still looks incredibly uncoordinated.
It's just this round metal balloon in the air swimming.
All right, so eventually you reach a very small dock there at the shore.
You shouldn't talk
Whitney
about the
turns to
size
you.
of people's docks like that.
That's terrible.
Whitney says, okay, guys, end of the line. You could just exit here on this dock where you're going to want to go. And she points towards a little nook at the base of the mountains where essentially two individual mountains meet. She goes, you want to go down that way. There you'll find a shack. And inside that shack, you will meet Sarah, and she will take care of you from here. It's been so great meeting you guys. Thank you so much for your help with the spiders. You were fantastic.
I wave down at Whitney and say, thanks, Whitney.
Oh, it's great. Thank you. And she goes, goodbye. And she waves to you and starts rowing back to the ship. Ramona's like, I think I've been here before, so just follow me. And
I take out my scoot buddy and follow along.
I float along above.
And she guides you.
Your rope is tied to my handlebars.
And she guides you in. And just as Whitney said, you do find a small shack deep inside the woods at the base of the mountain. Ramona walks up to the door of the shack and knocks.
This place seems charming.
Shortly after that, you see an elf woman answer the door. And she says, Ramona, it's good to see you. And then she stops and sees you guys. And she goes, and these are your friends.
Hi.
Please. Everyone, come in.
I pull Coen down so he can fit through
As
the door.
you pull him down, Ramona runs up to him and decasts levitate from
I
Coen.
fall flat on my face. And then I stand up and say, I'm all right.
Shoes on or off? I say, not having any shoes.
Oh, here, don't even worry about it. It's just a ramshackle hut. Come on in. I've got some great food for you, and you won't believe the kind of bugs we have around this area.
You'd be surprised at what I do and don't believe.
I hear you're full of surprises. She guides you in, and as you sit down inside, there's a love seat and a kind of a lazy boy type chair. She points to Coen towards the lazy boy chair since it seems to be quite oversized. She grabs you guys like these little TV dinner trays and brings you regular food with the exception of Skumk, who she hands a bowl of live bugs, all kinds of bugs, beetles, spiders, whatever the hell else you find in the woods.
Nice.
No mosquitoes, because mosquitoes are very thin and narrow.
I flinch whenever I see the spiders.
And
mosquitoes, they're so small, you can barely taste them. You need a whole handful of them to even get a bite of them. It's just not my favorite.
Yeah. And she says, well, I received a communique from Smith saying that you guys are going to be here. And it also said that you guys are free to go if you like. I do want to let you know, gosh, we are more than happy if you'd love to stay with us here at the Blazing Dusk. If you do,
I don't know about
obviously,
love. I'd like to.
We're more than happy to compensate you. Our compensation rates are pretty good. If you agree, he allowed me to get you guys some little bonus gifts. So what do you say? Would you like to stay with us or would you prefer to go your own way?
I don't have anywhere to go.
I say, madam, we are going nowhere. And I sit on the lazy boy and put my feet up.
I'm sticking with them to make sure that they don't get themselves killed.
She claps her hands and goes, well, that's wonderful. I'm so glad. Hold 1 second here. And she grabs these 4 boxes wrapped up in just this lavender. There's a lavender box with a pink bow. There's a pink box with a blue bow. And there's a bright green box with a yellow bow. She gives the green box to Skumk, the pink box to Coen, and the purple box to Jelly. Who's going to open their gift first?
Me.
Okay, Skump tears
Skump
into
rips it off with his teeth.
Yeah, he just tears into it, and he opens it up. Inside, he finds a card with his picture on it and the letters VIP.
Oh, it's a skunk trading card.
She goes, no, it's a fake Faerun VIP card. since I can't.
Can I trade this for like
She says, "Oh,
2 jellies?
no,
or
I would highly recommend that you
half a
don't
Coen?
trade it because it can come in very valuable for you." And what it does for you, as far as the game mechanics are concerned, is you can, with that card, you can generally expect the best possible service, which is rare for a goblin. The card, when you display it, gives you proficiency in, also an additional 2 points and advantage to all persuasion checks. However, should you
Wow.
fail, the card will be confiscated. But if you are with goblins, you get yet another 2 points towards the skill.
If you'd like that card to be holographic, I can help you out with that.
You should call that the white people card.
Sure, white
The
privilege card.
Yes.
And who opens up their box next?
Go, Jelly.
Okay, I open mine up.
All right, you open up your box, and what you find is a rather colorful tome. And the title is A Very Full House Big Book of Episodes.
Oh my god!
And it is a complete guide to every episode of A Very Full House. This book can be used to provide trivia about everyone's favorite show. When reading from it, Jelly gives Skumk advantage on stealth rolls, and Coen can roll stealth in full armor without disadvantage.
Nice.
I love it. Thank you.
Coen, I guess it's your turn to open up
Yes.
your gift. All right,
Yeah.
you open it
I
up,
rip it open.
and inside you find a lens fit with an amethyst in the center. It is.
Is this
she
like
go-
a monocle that you...
Yeah, it's kind of like a monocle crossed with a jeweler's eye. She goes, "That's called the cat's eye.
Ooh. You know the way to a man's heart.
You can see in the dark with one of your eyes as you hold it up to it, up to 30 feet, but everything will be tinged yellow. It also, I'm saying this is me and not her, provides you with a +1 to perception checks while you're wearing it.
Very nice. Thank you.
And you can fit it like a monocle, or do you have to hold it up?
Well, if he can get a string or whatever, he can actually put it on there like a monocle. But right now, it's more like
I want to tie it on like a pirate patch.
She goes, "Well, hold on then," and she reaches back there and grabs a little chain. Actually, more like a strip of leather. She situates like these 2 little metal hooks that can fit into the lens, and then she wraps it around your head, and it fits perfectly. So you now have the
And
cat's
now I look
eye.
like a cyborg.
You look like a steampunk cyborg.
Yes. I love it.
And you're seeing the world in a weird way where one eye sees everything tinged yellow and the other eye sees everything just normally.
Yeah, and it's got this little ticker of information scrolling down it whenever I look at people. I look at Skumk and it says, Skumk, smelly.
Does my identification card have like my stats?
Can that be on a
and
lanyard?
my, like
I want that on a lanyard.
maybe it has like a quote at the bottom.
It does have your vital statistics on it. Your height, your eye color, your race. It does say that you are an ambassador on it. And
Sure, it doesn't say an embarrassment.
I high five Coen. Coen? What is it? What does your monocle say when it looks at me?
It says fragile. Do not touch. Easily broken.
And then
That's fair. That's fair.
Does it say, like, does it have comparative power levels, like I'm stronger than Spider-Man but weaker than the Hulk?
No, says you're strong against grass types, but weak
no,
against
but it does
water
say
types.
on the bottom in quotes, "I have a lizard penis." She turns to you and says, "Look, guys, since you agreed to stick with us, I do have a mission for you. There are rumors that the king at Waterdeep has ordered an exploration into the caverns surrounding the Sword Mountains here. What I
I've
need
got
you to
some cousins there.
And she goes, yes. And she goes, there's lots of goblins there. All I want is for you to just head out there, scout, check it out, find out what's happening, and just let us know. We need to see if this is something that we need to take action on, or just, it's no big deal. But we're concerned. It's unprecedented.
We can do that. We're good at looking at things.
I'm sure everything
Fantastic.
will go off without a hitch. We will just walk in and walk back.
That's great. Before you go, it's still daylight hours. I would recommend taking a little rest and heading out at night.
We can do that.
Yeah, that's my preferred time.
So
Sounds
she
good to
grabs
me.
each of you a
She
blanket.
grabs us?
She grabs you guys, and then she blanks it. No, she grabs a blanket for each of you, so Coen can just lay back in his chair and sleep. I guess, Jelly, you and Skumk are on a love seat, or you could move to another chair.
I'll sleep on the floor.
All right, you sleep on the floor, and Skumk has the love seat to himself, and you get your rest. You get all your spell slots back. You get your HP back. So make sure to reset yourselves. And she wakes you. She goes, "Guys, it's midnight. Are you ready?"
Ready as
I
I'll
was
ever
born
be.
ready, ma'am.
Great. She goes, "I've got a map here for you," and she hands you a map. And she goes, "I've X'd out. I put an X on the locations where it's reported that they've been seen. Just head over there and let me know what you see. I appreciate all your help. Ramona will stay here with me in case any of them come over here. She can protect us.
Bye, Ramona.
Bye, Ramona.
See you guys." And she goes and gives each one of you a hug.
Aww.
Yeah. This is my kind of person.
And you guys head out as they wave to you, and you're now under the cover of darkness. As you approach, you approach one of the X's. Do you wish to take the low ground or take the high ground?
So how far away, how far have we traveled? Give us some... I actually thought...
Let's say you've traveled
We're-
3 miles. You're near one of the X's. Your option is to go to bank
What's
around.
the terrain like? Yeah.
It's a mountain. You're walking around. And, obviously these mountains go up, not straight up as in a steep incline, but there's hilly areas that go up and up and up. And you're at one of those areas where you could just climb up to the top of this area and get a view from the top, or you
I
go
don't care.
around and get a view from the side.
I say we take the high ground.
Yeah. I think up sounds
Uh,
good.
Yeah, let's go the high ground.
As you climb up the hill and you reach the top, you start hearing voices and clattering coming from the bottom. Coen, I imagine when you look through your lens, you close the other eye.
Yeah, sure.
You close your one eye. The other two can just look. What you see are dozens and dozens of soldiers forming a perimeter around this area. And they're going in and out of this cavern. And the ones that are coming out of the cavern are carrying out goblin bodies. And you overhear what you
man.
presume to be a captain shouting, "Righto! Take no prisoners. All goblins need to be executed. Do not let any escape. Not one!" And he turns his head towards your group.
I won.
Hey, this is Stan.
Hey, it's me, Jody.
Hi, everybody. It's Ivan.
How you doing, darlings? This is Trevor.
And we want to thank you for listening, and also to tell you about a great new podcast.
It's called Wings.
It's really good.
Wow, that sounds like a fun name. Wings! What is it about?
It is about the show
What is
Wings.
life about, Stan?
You mean that TV show with the airplanes and the guy who played Sandman in Spider-Man 3?
I assume
That's exactly the one,
I
as far
you
as
know
I
better
know.
than I do. I've never seen a single episode of the show.
I have seen an episode of the show, and in fact, all 4 of us have actually recorded for this podcast. Wings! And I'm fortunate to
I've
be...
never seen an episode of the show either.
Yeah, I think I'm the only one of us who's actually seen an episode of the show. Maybe Jody
I've
has.
never
I
seen an episode.
doubt it.
Because
Yeah.
you're a giant dork.
Well, I mean, he's Australian. Who knows if he even played there back in the early 90s. Anyway, that's neither
Who
here
knows
nor
if
there.
they
This
had
show is
television.
about the show.
But
and
it's not really,
it's
to be
hosted by
honest.
someone who's never seen the show. And it's basically
It's mostly about the nature of the
Life,
universe.
everything.
Good and evil,
9/11.
morality, theology.
There's a lot of talk about 9/11 on my episode.
it's a show about wings where we talk about everything except for wings. It's a comedy show where we discuss ridiculous philosophies, and you should just check it out. It's hard to describe, but it's hilarious. And Michael Rader, the host,
It's a work of genius.
yeah, it's
It really
brilliant.
is.
This guy is super smart and super funny. He's one of the funniest people I know. He's in our main D&D group. So check it out. Michael Rader is brilliant.
How many letters are in wings?
Oh, there are 6 E's. It's spelled WHEEEEEEENGS. It is on iTunes. You can search for it on whatever podcast application you use. Get it, listen to it, make it a priority. It's awesome.
Also, subscribe to our podcast, join our Facebook group, and give us a rating on iTunes. Please, we love you, we love you, we love you.
Yeah,
And
our
check us
Twitter.
out on Twitter. And
Absolutely.
also, Trevor puts up some pretty cool stuff, including a video of himself. It's great.
Behind the scenes action.
And that's
it's brilliant.
That's at TSMR Cast.
Yeah, you
And
can watch me
Yep.
agonize over what spells to choose and proclaim myself to be a very fancy boy indeed.
All right. I think we did good, guys.
Thanks for listening.
Fantastic.
All right. Thanks,
The-
buddies.
Woohoo!